Bonjour à tous, and welcome again to the Best Literature podcast, hosted by your favorite weirdos,
Sara, Regis, Vane, Nuika,
and to me, Sam, broadcasting live from the underworld.
All I hear are screams!
Holy moly! Sorry, darlings, we had a little interference. But anyway, as Sam was saying, we are a group of students passionate about literature, movies, cinema, pop culture,
and drama. Lots of drama.
Absolutely. So that's why today we are here to have a totally civilized discussion about books that were made into movies or musicals.
And obviously to judge them a little bit along the way, because why not?
Let us go back 3,200 years ago, when cities were at war, heroes clashed for glory, and Odysseus
That's me.
and his men were sailing towards Troy.
You guessed? Yes, we're talking about the Odyssey by Homer. And even though this awesome story has lots of cinematic adaptations, our favorite one is Epic the Musical by Jorge Rivera. Let's call him J for the bros.
But before we continue with what is epic, let's talk a little about what the Odyssey is exactly and what it is about. The Odyssey is a structured poem of 24 songs that is usually divided into three parts: the Telemachy, the Return of Odysseus, and the Revenge of Odysseus.
The Telemachy are the first four books of the poem, which tell the story of Telemachus, my son, by the way, when he decides to leave home to search for his father Odysseus.
The Return of Odysseus is specifically from books 5 to 12, which recount Odysseus' adventures on his journey back to Ithaca.
In the third and final part, Odysseus' Revenge, he arrives on the island of Ithaca, his homeland, where he appears disguised as a vagabond in order to go unnoticed.
After this brief introduction, we continue with Epic. Epic was born as a university project back then in June 2019. But it didn't go viral until early 2021, when Jay started posting the creative process on social media, especially on TikTok. Jay is a true musical prodigy. At Epic, we saw him play different instruments. In case you didn't know, each character has a representative instrument, so he really thought about how to make every detail unique and incredible.
Epic has 9 concept albums, each containing between 3 and 6 songs.
Each album tells the story of Odysseus' wonderful adventures.
Wonderful?
There is really nothing bad to say about Epic. Maybe it's not the whole story, but obviously it's just a 3-hour musical.
Epic is a true feeling. Each song envelops you as if you were really going through everything Odysseus experienced. Absolute holy moly. Now, let's travel to Ingolstadt, Germany. Yeah, I know, weird name, but hey, who isn't weird nowadays? I mean, the next story is about a weirdo that made a new person formed by dead people's limbs.
Limbs? You mean he...
Yeah, he did. Anyways, let's talk about this marvelous book, Frankenstein. But before digging into the synopsis, let's talk a bit about the author.
That's a great idea, to be honest. Mary Shelley was a famous British novelist who wrote Frankenstein or The Mother Prometheus. Her novel was considered the first sci-fi novel to ever exist, meaning she basically gave birth to science fiction.
Amazing, isn't it? Well, let's dig a little deeper into the story of Frankenstein.
Frankenstein's monster is a fictional character who first appeared in Mary Shelley's novel Frankenstein, or The Modern Prometheus. He is a being created from different parts of corpses, who is brought to life by his creator, Victor Frankenstein, during an experiment.
That's right, though I don't know why they call the creator of Frankenstein when Victor never actually named it. But anyways, as we know, recently the new movie Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro came out and everyone is hyped about it, saying it was awesome and blah blah blah. I saw it twice. The first time I thought it was awesome, but last week I read the book again and then saw the movie again, and to be honest, I was left with much higher expectations.
Really? I think it was good.
Well, I mean, it's valid that you liked it, but I honestly expected something better. As someone who has already read the book and watched the other versions, I truly think this was quite disappointing. The whole story was changed and it lost sense of the whole theme.
I haven't seen it, but I've read it and I truly think you have a point. Most of the time, movies take special parts of the books that were, in a way, relevant to the story, which leaves holes that make the own directors and writers change the whole story, and it's kinda annoying.
I know, right? It's truly annoying when they say that it's 100% accurate to the book, and when you watch the movie, everything is changed. I honestly enjoy the 1994 version.
I think it was truly amazing. It felt human in a way, and I think that Del Toro still making something human but still keeping that suspense theme.
Still, I think it could have been better executed.
And now, how about we leave the present and travel a few centuries back? Let's talk about another classic and one of my favorite novels, Little Women.
Little Women is a classic novel written by our great friend Louisa May Alcott.
It tells the story of four sisters, Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy, who grew up during the American Civil War.
Each one has a very distinct personality. Meg is the responsible one, Jo the creative and rebellious one, Beth the sweet and calm one, and Amy the somewhat dramatic artist.
I think it's quite hard to pick a favorite.
Indeed it is. Each one has something special about them.
Before we start debating which of the sisters is better, let's talk a little about what this book is about.
Yeah, you're right, Bunny. We don't want this podcast to turn into a battlefield. The novel takes you through the sisters' dreams, family dramas, romances, and plenty of laughter and tears. It's basically a delightful 19th century soap opera.
Some may consider it a cloying and predictable novel that focuses solely on romance, but I believe Little Women has much more to offer.
Many adaptations of this novel have been released throughout the years.
I mean, it has been a long time since the book was released in 1868.
Just 157 years.
Yeah, I think that's more than enough time to create new adaptations and turn the novel into movies.
One of the first movies was launched in 1949. This adaptation is more theatrical and colorful, with that golden touch of classic Hollywood. It tends to soften some of the book's drama to make it more of a pretty period piece. Yeah, that one is definitely not my favorite one. I think it's much better the movie of 1994. This movie is like a soft warm blanket. Very faithful to the book, very romantic, very 90s. Jo is incredibly passionate. Laurie is a sweetheart and the story follows the book in a pretty classic way. This one is definitely the best if you enjoy nostalgia like me.
And what about the most modern one, the version of 2019? It is the same story but with more energy, time jumps, and a more modern perspective of the girl lives and decisions. Jo is more rebellious, Amy has more personality, and everything feels fresher. It maintains the spirit of the book but with its own style.
They're all different, but also the same in certain way. Of course, none of the adaptations are exactly a carbon copy of the book, and that will make some people angry.
Indeed, Vane, I don't know why it's so hard to please everyone. However, at the end, the book and all of the adaptations have their own charm and are worth watching. It's just a matter of individual taste and preferences.
Now, dear listener, fasten your comic seatbelt because we are leaving the Earth immediately. Our next destination, a tiny speck of stardust floating somewhere in the galaxy, the famous asteroid B612.
Isn't that the one with the...
Yes, the one with him.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Ladies, gentlemen, and all the intergalactic beings joining in, allow me to introduce one of the smallest yet wisest travelers in literary history, a blonde little boy who crossed deserts, planets, and adult with no imagination.
A classic, a legend, a child who literally said grown-ups are Grinch, but poetically.
The Little Prince, written by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry.
Anthony Saint what?
Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. This dude was not only a writer, but a recognized French aviator, whose works are the unique testimony of a pilot and a warrior who looked at adventure and danger with a poet's eyes.
The Little Prince has had theater plays, movies, even a series. But today, we are talking about Paramount Picture adaptation. This movie was produced in 2015 and it blends a little bit of stop motion with 3D animation style. Such a beautiful work of art and soundtrack.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. But this movie talks about a little girl who moves to a new city and meets an aviator. How is it related to the original book? Well, darlings, the magic of these adaptations does not consist in copy-pasting the work, but of the message it trying to give us. In a little different way, but it keeps the same essence.
Couldn't agree more. This movie follows the journey of this little girl, but overall, and why I consider it a wonderful adaptation, how the world has turned grey and people have forgotten how to create, how to imagine, how to enjoy simple things, such as a talk with a friend, prioritizing materialism and professional success over real ships.
The Aviator tells us the story of the boy he found in the desert, which turns out to be a brilliant metaphor of him reuniting with his inner child. The Little Prince represents the loss of innocence and childhood, and the Aviator, a man who has abandoned his dreams.
And the best, no matter how old are you, you may always understand it in a different and more mature way. Maybe when you are 15, you will identify with the Lamter, always busy and tired, trapped in a dull routine.
And perhaps when you turn 30, you will identify with the geographer. Who knows?
It invites us to think, what am I doing with my life? I should try and live right now.
Yeah, and reminds us that growing up doesn't mean giving up on what we really are.
The essential is invisible to the eyes. Ah, beautiful quote.
Stop it, guys, or I swear I'll start to cry right now.
Seems like Hogwarts is waiting for us. Pack your wands, books, and potions, and let's head to our favorite school of witchcraft and wizardry, located in the Scottish Highlands, nestled in a secret and inaccessible area surrounded by mountains, woods, and a lake.
Ah, here we are at the amazing Hogwarts.
Just wait a bloody minute. I'm not good with trains or anything that moves with me inside of it. Let's give a little context. Hogwarts was founded over 1,000 years by 4 magicians and witches,
Godric Gryffindor,
Helga Hufflepuff,
Rowena Ravenclaw.
and Salazar Slytherin. But not long ago, there was a boy. His name was Harry Potter, the boy who lived. His parents were cruelly ended by the one who must not be named, Lord Voldemort. But when the Dark Lord tried to end little Harry, he ended up alive, being known all around the magic world.
In 1991, Harry Potter initiated his first year at his wonderful school. During this first year at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, Harry discovers that a teacher named Quirrell was truly Voldemort's ally, in search of the Philosopher's Stone to bring his master back to life.
But after everything he goes through, he survives due to the protection that his mother, named Lily, provided him when she sacrificed herself when Harry was a baby. After everything he went through with his friend, he stays at Hogwarts until his first year at school comes to an end. After all, more adventures awaited for them in their following years.
Oh, the old Harry Potter. Well, that was everything for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed, and please give us a like and comment.
Bye!